Jack, it is time. Give me a person, place, thing, moment. Number one, in no particular order, what rabbit hole do I need to go down? What should be talked about or who should be talked about more? Number one.
All right, so the first one isn't quite a rabbit hole because we were around for it. But when you posed this to me, I thought about the gap between the impact and importance that the team or the individual had versus the amount of time people spend talking about them. So the first one, when I made my list, I made a bunch of things, but I had number one right at the top, 2005 White Sox.
Ugh.
The 2005 White Sox are one of the all-time great Major League Baseball teams. They have been playing Major League Baseball since 1876.
Yeah.
And think about how many teams there are over every season. There's only one champion per season. And then of all these champions, there's every champion is great, and I never take anything away, but there are different levels of like how good you were, and there's the '98 Yankees is a level, or like the 2020 last year's Dodgers is a level, or the 27 Yankees, etc. But the White Sox in 2005, they went wire to wire first place. They won the first game of the season 1-0. They won the last game of the season 1-0. They had several players who, even without a ring, would have been all-time great White Sox players, particularly Paulie and Buehrle. And then you had Frank at the end of his run, and then Ozzie. Then you've got all these players who had these incredible moments. You talk about moments, and what are these great Chicago sports moments? You can name any player. I bet there's 15 players on the 2005 White Sox where if you said their name, immediately moments come to mind. And it was just this blessed run. They did everything well. They did everything right. And they smashed the competition. They sweep the defending champion Red Sox. Then they go into the ALCS against a really, really good Angels team, that had just won 3 years earlier. And now they have Vladimir Guerrero. They lose game one in a close game and then roll off four straight complete games. The White Sox won a playoff series 4-1 and used one reliever the entire series for less than an inning. And then they go and they face the Houston Astros, and the Astros were like one of those teams like of the same era, like the Colts. Like they were a lot like the Colts team that beat us in the Super Bowl in the sense that it was a really good team. They had been staying in the hunt for a while. They'd never gotten to the World Series or the Super Bowl, and now this was their shot.
And they beat Atlanta.
The Astros.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Chris Burke.
And I got a story about that.
So now they have this crazy pitching staff with Roger Clemens and Andy Pettitte and Roy Oswalt, and the White Sox run through them. I believe the Sox in games 2, 3, and 4 was the first time that a team had won the World Series by scoring the winning run in like the 7th inning or later 3 times. And just amazing plays, amazing moments. The way that they get left off of lists or, great teams or championships in Chicago and things like that, it's terrible. So that gap between what they accomplished and the impact that they had and breaking their own drought and the way that they get talked about, that was number one. So it's not a rabbit hole, but it just deserves, like, as much as possible, we should mention the 2005 White Sox.
So I'm going to tell you why for me it's a rabbit hole. I moved. In 2005, I lived in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I remember I worked at Best Buy in North Point Mall in Atlanta. And I remember working in the appliance section and really having the back and forth with a number of people there because Atlanta fans just knew they were going to be in the World Series. They just knew it. Like, yeah, we're going. Yeah, don't even worry about it. When they lost, I never seen a space so quiet. Mm. Everybody left the store. It was so empty in that store. And I also remember the night that they won. Me and my homies were going to the club, and the White Sox just so happened to win, and we were pumping gas. And I yell out, the White Sox just won the World Series. And we're outside in the gas station in Atlanta, jumping up and down like we just won the World Series, and everybody's looking at us crazy. But
Yeah.
because I lived away, I don't. That's probably the experience of a championship team that I loved. I hate the most because I was not there in the city to experience it.
That's funny. I wasn't either. I was living in Indianapolis at the time.
See, so it
And
sucked
same
for
thing. And
me.
I remember I got on the phone with my mom, and we lived in Wilmette. I mean, I didn't because I lived in Indy, but like this is my where my parents were. And my mom said she went outside. She goes, "There's people shooting off fireworks." She goes, "Hold on," and she goes outside on the phone, and she goes, "They're shooting fireworks. They're shooting fireworks in Wilmette. This is great." And then she goes, "Oh, that one came by the house," and she went back inside. It was
Yeah,
electric, but it was a different experience being not being at home for a title game.
right.
Yeah.
And yes, I hate seeing ESPN not acknowledge the 2005 White Sox. Like that's it's dumb as hell. Like we brought one home,
Right.
but that is the one sports moment that I hate because I did not get the chance to experience it. And seeing people back home, hearing my father, who's a White Sox fan, of course, taking me to that game, and we finally getting one, and I'm just sitting there in Atlanta at my house, just like, oh man, y'all having fun, huh? And then going back to work and nobody to celebrate this with. In
Yeah.
fact, they're mad at you because they're always the bridesmaid. They're never the bride. And at the time, they was only the bride once. They felt like they should have beat the Astros. They lose. They're quiet. Now they seeing me celebrate. They don't want to see me celebrate. They don't want to see me have a good time. So I couldn't enjoy it. I love and hate that moment at the
Mm.
same time because I was not able to experience it. And even some of those moments, I don't have those moments because if I'm looking at sports, I'm looking at the damn Braves games. I'm not necessarily being able to look at us until we get to the World Series. And the night they won, I'm at a damn gas station in Marietta, Georgia, getting ready to go into Vegas nights.